Hey book dragons, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're all doing well. Siomi from Siomi's Book Tales here, and this week I wanted to bring you a sort of dark-ish, sort of maybe eerie, creepy, gothic undertones towards the books that I really wanted to read, because that's the mood that I was in. Unfortunately, that really wasn't what happened, but you know what? It's all good. I managed to read books that I really wanted to read, and I also managed to understand that I need to do a little bit more research into if I am going to attempt reading maybe darkish, sort of eerie books, then I need to do a little bit more research as to what that entails, because you're gonna notice throughout this video, like I mentioned, there weren't many that I really did enjoy, but again, I managed to read Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn, Girl Save the World in This One by Ash Parsons, and A Forgery of Roses was another one that I managed to read. A Forgery of Roses was by Jessica S. Olsen. And yeah, I have my thoughts. You're gonna see them as the video progresses, but you know what? It is what it is. I can't do anything else. I also want to apologize because this video is a little bit all over the place, as my previous video was as well. There are really no set days for this reading vlog because, again, I read these books as I felt the mood for them. So yeah, I'm just gonna end the intro here, and I'm just gonna leave you with all my thoughts for the following books that I just mentioned that I read. So I hope that you enjoy this reading vlog. If you read any of these books, please let me know down below, and we can have a little bit of a conversation, because if you love these books, I really want to know your thoughts as well. Reading is subjective, and I really want to get to know other people's input into these books. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the outro. Hey book dragons, so time for a little bit of an update for Only a Monster. I have read the entirety of it and I freaking loved it. Now, while there are a few things that I can nitpick, because if I start like breaking it down and how many things contradicted one another, I would lower the rating to 3 out of 5 stars, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I thought that it was unique, it was immersive, it was captivating, and I thoroughly enjoyed the characters. While I would have loved perspectives from other characters, I really enjoyed what we got, so I can't ask for more because it was really good. So I'm really excited for the sequel of Only a Monster. So if you don't know anything about Only a Monster, it's basically about Joanne, and she comes from a long line of monsters that have the ability to time travel, leeching the life force of a human being. Now, what I got from this line of family is that they do it 1 year at a time. So if they touch a human being in a certain specific spot in their body, they can leech the life force for 1 year, which basically means that they would die a year earlier than what they were supposed to die. While there are monsters that abuse this power, at least what I got from their family is that they really haven't. They have been hiding a lot from somebody that has been mentioned within the like myth from their life, or like the storyline in their lives, that it's a monster hunter who's gonna come and just basically kill them all. Well, what we get from the beginning is that this is where Joanne is thrusted into the adventure, because right from the beginning it is action-packed. Like, we're thrusted into that journey with her from the get-go. There was this one episode that kept on popping in my mind from Supernatural, where we have this being who has the ability to leech the life force of a human being. The only thing is that he leaves a husk of a body behind, and he has the ability to time travel. So that's the episode that kept on coming into my mind, and I was just like, wait, this feels just like this, but only a little bit different. Although within the book, Joanne, she really doesn't feel that monstrous, even though she comes from a line of monsters. And again, this is why I say it's unique, because I do watch Supernatural, and a lot of different beings, while they have human aspects, can be considered monsters. So the take on that I thought was rather interesting to have it within books. So maybe that would be something that would hinder somebody's experience, especially from what they maybe see from monsters. But I thought it was quite enjoyable. To update you with the book that I'm currently hearing, is called Girl Save the World in This One by Ash Parsons. I do have to admit that I'm currently 4 chapters in, and I'm really enjoying this story. I'm really enjoying also the backstory that we're getting from the characters, and how is it that their friendship is just beyond anything else. Their friendship surpasses anything, and I really have also liked the indications of maybe there was a friend with them but something went wrong, and I do connect to her because these are some things that happened to me when I was in high school. I do get that pop culture reference So I think it's really fun so far. I can't wait into how is it that the zombies come into play. But so far it's a great read. Like, you know, I wanted to read darkish kind of books, and I'm getting like lighthearted, really fun friendships. So I'm not, you know, complaining at all. I'm really enjoying these books. The other book that I'm gonna physically pick up is going to be the Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. This is one that I feel is gonna have more of that darkish sort of theme that I'm looking for. I'm just gonna read clip from this synopsis because I think that this little blurb sums up everything of what the book can encompass. It says Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca in this debut supernatural suspense novel set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence about a remote house, a sinister haunting, and the woman pulled into their clutches. So that's it. That's all I want to know from this book, and I think I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy this one because so far with Book of the Month picks, when it has to deal with sort of thriller mystery-esque books, every single one that I've picked up I have freaking adored. This one was one of the recent ones that I actually read, which is called The Collective by Alison Galen. Oh my god, this was just like whoa. Like, I honestly had to pick up my jaw because it just dropped beyond imagination. That ending was magnifique. It was spectacular. I was not expecting it. I thought it was gonna go one way and I was really annoyed if it actually went that way, but then it did a 180 and I was just like, oh my god, what? Again, fascinating read. And I'm not one that reads a lot of thrillers or mysteries, so again, they might not be the cream of the crop, but for me they were just, you know, magnifique in every single aspect. I did thoroughly enjoy everything that happened and the plot twists and turns. So time for an update with Girl Save the World, and this one by Ash Parsons. I gave that one 3 out of 5 stars. I finished it a few days ago. I just needed my thoughts to simmer down because I have a lot of things to say and I want to be as coherent as I can with my thoughts. So with that being said, I think that the premise has potential. The fact that we have a group of female friends that they're going to a zombie con because some of their favorite actors from one of their zombie TV series is going to be there. So I think that's amazing because if The Walking Dead came to Puerto Rico, like, I'd be the first to go because I am an enthusiast for anything that has to do with zombies and also post-apocalyptic scenarios. So I would definitely sign up for that. But unfortunately, as the story progressed and these scenarios of the fact that they're going to panels, the fact that they're going to stand in line, the fact that they're going to take pictures with their favorite actors, like, these things became so repetitive within the exposition of the story that it was just drawn out way too much and it became long-winded for me. And also, this is where my interest before had peaked, and as the story progressed it slowly dwindled, and it had to do with that fact, the fact that we were getting mundane situations and we're really getting to the point, which is something that I really wanted for them to get to that point quickly. I think that it was really drawn out, all these mundane activities that they were doing within the zombie convention. I think that a lot of these things could have been eliminated and focused more on, you know, what was going to eventually going down, or what was going to be the scenario, that inciting incident, or those moments of rising action, those moments that are going to eventually be these climactic moments that are going to actually make you become scared of what is actually happening, instead of you actually brushing these things to the side. I think that moments that were pivotal within the story were shrugged off quickly. The fact that we have people that are described as having these zombie act sort of physical descriptions, and the fact that how they are being described also with the eyes and whatnot. I think that shrugging these things off and not putting that much emphasis into them, as you know, one would actually do. I'm going to a zombie con, I see people like shambling around, and then all of a sudden this zombie, like, you know, has a detour and goes somewhere else instead of like actually going towards what they want, because zombies, you know, as they are described in the synopsis, are brain-eating zombies. I didn't really get that much. I don't know if I zoned out in a minute, could have been possible, but the fact that these scenes would have been crucial to the build-up of the story were actually just shrugged off. And when we have a moment where somebody is bitten by a person and the way that their eyes are described, and then it's just like, well, okay, no worries, forget it, you know, people will take care of that, we're gonna go somewhere else. And even there's somebody who goes and just gives them a warning, and I'm just like, wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute, are you not gonna take any of this seriously? Like, there are moments where they're actually like, wait, should we actually like pay attention to this? No, somebody else is gonna take care of that, they're gonna arrest them and whatnot, and then they just go on to their merry way and go on to, you know, these mundane activities that they were doing. And I was just like, hold on a second, what is happening here? I also thought that there was never a moment where I was on the edge of my seat. Like, this is a zombie book where brain-eating zombies are gonna come at you and kill you, because that's what it is. You know, zombies have one purpose, and that's for them to feed and to eat. They don't have any sadistic tendencies, because the only thing that they want to do is satiate their hunger for flesh, and that's what they're going to do. So I think that a lot of things that as to how these zombies were described, I don't know, it kind of threw me off of what I know of zombies. I don't know, maybe there's a new trend of zombies going on that I have no idea for, but you know, it can happen. But yeah, like I was saying, there wasn't a moment where I felt that they were in dire circumstances, because at times, while we have these scenarios where they're like rats in a maze, I never felt like they were in turmoil. Like, I never felt that they were gonna lose their lives. Like, I was never biting my fingers and being like, oh my god, something's gonna happen to these characters, they're not gonna make it out alive. Like, never in an instant did I actually feel that within the story. I really wasn't into that at all. So I think that while in the beginning, like I said, I really enjoyed the internal monologue of the characters, like getting to know our main character, getting to know these side characters, but I think that was drawn out way too much. And this story could have been 200 pages less, like easily, especially if the scenarios that were being mentioned within the story really weren't building up to much. Like, we could got a little bit from, you know, the panels, the standing in line, but the fact that it became like so much so fast was just too much for me. I was just like, there were moments where I was just zoning out. There were moments where I was just becoming boring with everything that was being given. And it's sad, because like I really wanted to love this book. I think one of the strongest elements that the book does have is, you know, the female friendship and how that is prominent throughout the entire story. Like, that is the main focus. No matter what happens, no matter where we end up, we're gonna look for one another and we are going to love one another. There's platonic loves between them, and the fact that they look for each other and their motivation is to keep each other alive. I think that is just beautiful. Like, I really enjoyed, you know, the female friendships. Like, this is a trope that I really do enjoy. Anything that has to do with found family or just friendships in general. This isn't found family, this is friendships in general. But eventually, you know, as we got the story, there is found family within them, and how is it that they united throughout the years. So I think that, again, that internal monologue and the exposition was really great, but as the story progressed, it was just too much, and it slowly made me lose interest in the story. So yeah, that's why I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Would I recommend it? Hell yeah. I mean, it is a great story. I do love the cover, and anybody would actually enjoy it. But for me in general, like, I really didn't get that little eerie, maybe scary, sort of grotesque kind of feeling, or maybe like on the edge of my seat with, you know, these zombies that are being described. That's also something else that I really wasn't like caring for. Like, I'm a yellow belly carrot, and the descriptive nature of the zombies never made me go like, ugh, yuck. Wow. Anyways, that's just me. I think that the book has, like I said, it has a great premise, but you know, in general, I really didn't enjoy it that much. I'm currently in the middle of a pamper routine. I have eye mask on, so bear with me. I'm going to try and make this clip as fast as I can, but update on the audiobook that I started, which is A Forgery of Roses by Jessica S. Olsen. I'm going to give you probably like a vague description of the synopsis, but this is where we have a main character who has the ability to alter some kind of physical attribute within a human body by painting a portrait of a said person. The problem is that our main character is blackmailed, and she has to draw the portrait of a deceased governor's son. So this is where she's thrusted into an adventure. This is where she has to go to the governor's house and paint this body of a dead person in order to revive said person. And then we start noticing that there's something a little bit more nefarious that happened to the body, and maybe there was a murder and not somebody who just leaped to their death as a suicide. So I think that the magic system as of right now sounds really interesting. I'm roughly like 27% into the audiobook, and while the characters don't seem captivating, I'm invested to see what is it that happens, because I want to know like the murder mystery aspect of the story. So that suspense aspect of the storyline is really captivating my attention. I can't say that for the characters. While one does seem interesting, I still don't know on the others, but again, I want to see what is it that happens, and I already downloaded the audiobook, so let's see if I'm actually enjoying the book through and through, but so far I'm okay with it. You know, I'm really enjoying the magic system. That's what really has me intrigued, and I can't wait to see what other little information is the author weaving into the story. So yeah, I will update you a little bit more when I have something more to say. Time for an update on A Forgery of Roses by Jessica S. Olsen. Finally finished that audiobook, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I'm kind of tired in this little streak that I've noticed that I'm in, where I go on a roller coaster of like and dislike for a book. And while the beginning might seem promising, the middle slowly dwindles in my interest, and then the ending picks up a little bit of pace, or I'm intrigued a lot more by the ending. I'm really tired of that. I really want to enjoy a book through and through and actually devour the story and love the characters and love everything that's being portrayed. But unfortunately, A Forgery of Roses, while it does have a promising synopsis, and I did mention this in my previous clip, that I didn't know how it was going to captivate my attention, but I was invested within the storyline as to how we have Myra, who is a prodigy, and roughly her parents go missing, and she has to fend for her and her younger sister Lucy. Now, a prodigy is a person who is an artist, and they have the ability to alter to change the physical anatomy of a human being by drawing a portrait of them and using their magic to either enhance or just change any physical attributes within the person. So that magic system does sound unique, and it does sound interesting, and I love how it weaves, you know, being an artist within the story. I really did love that. I thought that that was really atmospheric and how it brought the story to life. So the fact that Myra is roughly blackmailed into painting a portrait for the governor's son, the governor who doesn't want magic in his life, because her son has been murdered. This is where Myra decides to uncover what is it that really happened, because she starts to notice that there is something not quite right. So she needs to try to decipher what is it that happened to him in order to actually bring him back to life as a prodigy, which is something that she didn't know that she could do. So again, magic system sounds really interesting. The characters really didn't quite make it for me. I have to admit that Myra is, I wouldn't necessarily say that she is selfish, but she is a foolish heroine. Like, I wasn't endeared to any aspect of her. The one instance where I did enjoy her was her undying loyalty towards her sister. That's something that I have to take my hat off, because I really didn't enjoy that sibling interaction, that sibling love that was between them. And even though she did question a lot of things that were happening that really, you know, she was roughly forced into, I really did enjoy her character in that sense. I really can't say much about her because she was really, again, very foolish, very gullible. I don't understand some of the things that she was like trying to accomplish, but I'm gonna speak about Lucy. Lucy is her sister. Now, why I think that Lucy was an interesting character, she did play a really minor role. We didn't get much from her, and I really wished she was explored a lot more, because she does have chronic illness where her health is declining, and you know, her sister is trying to help her to see how is it that, you know, this chronic illness that she's going through, she can get out of it. And then we have August, and this is the love interest. I really didn't like August. I thought that he was ill-tempered. Like, this man would snap in an instant. And while I did enjoy that the author spoke about his anxiety and also the symptoms that would lead to his anxiety, it's not the same thing as comparing his anxiety to his personality, because being a coward, having a weak personality, has nothing to do with his anxiety. Because I've suffered through anxiety, that does not mean that that is going to be my weakness. There are a lot of things this person is going to go through, yes, but he was a coward through and through. And I do know that, yes, he really didn't know Myra that much, and I did question a lot of things, because there is a trope or two tropes that I really do not like, and that is insta-love and the love triangle. Myra knows this man, August, for 2 days. 2 fucking days, and already she is defending him. She knows everything about him. She is unflinching when she wants to defend him, and I'm just like here lost, because I'm like, wait, woman, you don't even know anything about him. Like, honestly, what is this undying love that you have for this man that you barely even know? And yet he has had moments where he has snapped at her, and I'm just like, wait a minute, That what? No, no, I don't. No, just no, just no. So I really can't tell you what kind of century they were in this, and if this was roughly something that had to do with, you know, being a woman and having to be proper and, you know, not standing up for a man. So I don't know if it had to do with that within the society, because I can't tell you much about the world building aside from the magical system, from, you know, what is a prodigy, because not much was delved into, aside from the fact that they have carriages, that there is a landline. I really can't tell you much about the world building in general, because aside from her running from her life, that's really all we got from the story. We don't know much about the townspeople and how is it that they, you know, go about their daily lives, especially with, there's one governor that rules them all, but yet he sees prodigies as something that should be shunned upon, something that should be dealt with, something that, you know, is unnatural within the society. So they are vilified within the society, and he wants to get rid of them. And that's what happens to a prodigy. Once they discover that you are a prodigy, then your life is in danger. I have to admit that the villainous reveal was something that I did not foresee. So that was unexpected, and I have to admit my jaw dropped, because I thought that that was well done. But just because that's a moment, a segment within the story, it's not enough for me to enjoy the story through and through, because this was the ending. It's not enough for me to be like, oh my god, I really freaking enjoyed this book because of that one moment. My mother, I can hear my mother, so I'm pretty sure the camera is picking her up, so give me a second. While I didn't have to finish it because this book isn't a physical read in my TBR, I already had downloaded the audiobook, and you know, these script credits are priceless, so I was like, you know what, let me just finish it. So yeah, I'm okay with the fact that I read it. Unfortunately, I really would have wished I would have enjoyed this story, because it did sound promising. Unfortunately, it just really didn't pique my interest, and I just lost interest along the way. Time for a final update with the Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. I made it 33 pages into the book, and what I'm noticing now is that I think we're gonna be switching between dual perspectives. We have Andres and Beatriz. We got a perspective from Andres in the first, well, that was the first chapter that we got. Can't tell you much about him. The reason I'm gonna put the Hacienda down is not because I'm not enjoying it in general. It has nothing to do with the book. It's more on what I think, or my beliefs in general, with situations that are being explained within the story. So these are roughly my thoughts, especially towards the Hacienda, especially the fact that Isabel is very, very possessive. I married into the family. That doesn't mean that everything is going to be, from the get-go, it's gonna be mine. Like, I need to work for that as well. Like, these people have had generations in their family working their asses off in order to make a name for themselves, in order to have a better life. So this whole possessive nature of the fact that, oh, I married into the family, this is all mine, you're not gonna take this away from me, like, who do you think you are? I don't know, that really just rubs me the wrong way. But again, it's more with me and how I visualize things. It has nothing to do with the book. So I'm gonna read it little by little, and I'll eventually update you in a future vlog, because I don't want to stop reading it, because there's something that's still drawing me towards the book, especially the Hacienda in general. I want to know more about it. But yeah, that's the reason I'm gonna put the Hacienda down. I managed to read 3 books for this vlog, which I think is great. So you know what, I'm just gonna call it quits, and that's it. I'm not gonna force myself to read the Hacienda, because I know that I will not finish this book today, and tomorrow I start working. I really want to upload this video tomorrow. There are 342 pages in this book, and I know that your girl is not gonna read 300 pages. Hey book dragons, thank you for making it this far into the video. I want to say thank you for watching. Like I mentioned, I really did have this sort of dark-ish reading mood. Unfortunately, the books that I read really didn't satiate that mood that I was in, but you know what, it's okay. That just tells me that I need to do a little bit more research, and you know, just understand what is it that I want to read, and if I really want to read the books that I have. But yeah, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day and or night, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.